Okay, thank you. Couldn't get myself unmuted. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I am so glad that you're here. And before we go on today, I'm going to share my screen for a moment because I feel very compelled to fuss on and acknowledge some individuals within our community that I believe are under celebrated. Um, it's been a little complicated since we've been virtual for so long. We used to celebrate them more often. But right now, I want to call your attention to this group of individuals. You have here pictures of Dawn Lee Martin from Calgary, Canada, Marilyn Truschell, Brian Jude, who is with us today. I saw him. Barbara Gilfillan from Florida, Elaine, Elaine Demars is also with us, Patricia Lewis Johnson, uh, Shar Caver from Boston, Edward Sunwolf, of course, Tony is with us, Joe, I believe, is with us, Christiana, Evelyn, you just heard from, and Dave Schwartz. I want to tell you that these individuals have been answering prayer requests at a rate that would be maybe shocking to all of you. Behind the scenes, when needed, these individuals are stepping up and praying for the individuals within our community. Sometimes it's for ourselves, we have our own personal needs, but any prayer request that comes from within the community, and I want you guys to fuss on these people. How can you do that? Well, if you go to our new website, which is still CSLNJ.org, created by the illustrious Lee Seidenberg, bless his heart, for bringing his professionalism to the first professionally done website we've had probably in forever, maybe ever in 20 years. It is beautiful. On that website, there is a page called Spiritual Leadership. You will see our ministerial leadership and you will see our practitioners. All of their emails, if you click on their names, they will have their purpose statement. And then underneath is a link to their individual email. I am asking you to reach out to these people, to say thank you, to say I love you, to do whatever is required to have them feel seen and appreciated. It goes without saying that they are the spiritual backbone of this community. And I'm asking you to join me in celebrating these individuals for the hard work it took for them to get here and how they maintain their composure. That reading this morning, Evelyn, was beautiful. Again, it's funny because I was sitting here during meditation reading high mysticism, so which I thought was kind of cool. It takes a lot to look beyond the evidence of less than. It takes a lot to not get caught up in drama. It takes a lot to see through these things to possibility, to healing, to wholeness. And so that's what these individuals are committed to doing. So I am asking you to join me in celebrating them. If you want to say thank you right now in the chat, go for it. But I'm even asking you to go online, write these people emails, tell them how much you love and support them. Believe me, we have been busy. We have been busy for weeks. The prayer requests that have been coming through from all sorts of directions and for our own family members has been enormous. So anyway, to the practitioners for the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you for consistently being the foundation that I know I can turn to. And nobody do I trust anybody more to pray than I do the practitioners of this community. I didn't mention Reverend Neil, but of course he's part of that just because, you see his face all the time. Anyway, loving on you and thanking you. So let's fuss on them. So today, in order to embrace what's possible, we must be conscious and take conscious actions. So today, in a new form, a slightly new format, you're going. And so you notice that we didn't do the community greeting that we always do. But today, for the first time, this will be the first time, you're going to be able to visit with people post celebration. So if you want to hang out and visit and say hello, please absolutely stay and say hello. Um, but we want you, everyone here, to recognize that in order to have the life we want, we have to be conscious. So what I've asked today, what I've asked all the ministers to do today, is to show up and answering two questions. And I'm inviting you to consider the same thing, and you can post your answers in the chat. Of course, if we were at the center, there'd be candles. So imagine yourself surrounded by candles and music and all those beautiful things that we always use to set the atmosphere. The two questions are, what of everything would you really want, do you want to leave in 2021? And it's good to be conscious about what you choose. We're not here to have life by default. We're here, you and I are here to have life by design. And in order to do that, we must choose. And then the second question is, and of all the things you could embrace in 2022, the coming of 2022, what would that be? So we're going to each answer that question in our own way for you, and we invite you to do the same. So I'm going to launch it, and I'm going to say that. Wait, I want to get rid of this spotlight so we can see everybody. Hang on one second. I'm just changing my view. So there you all are. I'm so happy to see all these faces. So for me, I got in touch with a level of doubt that I have not been present to before. COVID, being sequestered, being having as much quiet, being separate from you all has been extremely challenging for me. You might not want to hear me say that. You might not like it. You might want me to say, oh, Reverend Michelle should be always up and optimistic. And it's not that I'm not optimistic. I'm giving you my human sharing. It's been a rough road. Um, I was speaking, I don't remember who I was. Oh, I was speaking to Barbara Ashworth 2 weeks ago. We were just chatting a little bit. And Barbara said to me, I miss the center. And I burst into tears. And I burst into tears because of my own frustration, my doubt, my missing of and feeling that I have trying to do ministry with my hands tied behind my back. So for me, that's what I'm leaving in 2021. I'm leaving that. What am I embracing? The unknown. I'm choosing to embrace the unknown. Right now, I'm choosing to be so present that whatever shows up in front of me in the moment is that which I'm going to take a look at. I'm going to look it square in the eye and I'm going to say yay or nay. But I'm going to allow life to unfold in front of me like a path laid out. And instead of governing and guiding and pushing and conniving my way through my world, I'm going to do it in such a way that I'm going to accept and allow the gifts of life as they present themselves. For me, 2022 will be a year of absolute curiosity for me. I'm going to be curious about what's possible. Now, I want you all to know that 2022, our theme is the power of connection. And we are all year long going to be talking about being connected to source, to each other, to family, to earth, and to all the other things that we are connected to. But that's me. Now, if something comes to you, that which you want to let go of, again, please feel free to put it in the chat. And on that, I introduce to you Reverend Elaine Demars. Okay.
I feel like I've been muted a great deal. Good morning. Good morning, my beloved family. I take the words of Reverend Michelle, and I take this breath, this sacred breath in this moment, and knowing that that breath is eternal. That breath is the life of God that is moving through me. And I pause. I take that breath and I remember to pause, to be. And I release in that pause. I release my worries, my fears, my woes. And I move forward in that sacred space all the time, in that pause. My every thought, word, and breath is cradled and nurtured in that pause. And in that silent pause, I remember that there is joy that resonates, that resounds. There is power, there is presence in that pause, in that remembering. And so I surrender. I surrender that habit that I have of judging myself, judging situations. I surrender the sense of separation. I surrender the sense of sadness. I surrender appearances. And I know that in that surrender is my truth, is my grace, is my resurrection. And in that surrender is the great opening of my soul. And in that surrender, in that emptiness, I'm able to pivot. I'm able to move into the truth of my being. And I trust. I trust that only truth and power and presence expressed in my life right now as light and love. And in 2022, I look forward to connecting. I look forward to that connection with the infinite wisdom that is within me, to that compassionate love that is within me. And that I move into that place of connecting and communing with you and with that greater being that is who we are. And in 2022, I remember to recalibrate and refresh in every breath, in every thought, and I move into that truth. I recalibrate to that higher frequency that is God within me. And I remember that life is new in every moment, that I am connected in every moment. And I remember that it's okay to be easy, that it's okay not to struggle. I remember with that hummingbird that's over my shoulder, as the shamans remembered, that the hummingbird is the symbol of the winds of the north. It's the symbol for the grandmothers and grandfathers. And I ask that hummingbird to come and whisper, to come and warm its hands and its wings by our fires, to whisper to me in the wind. And I ask and I commit myself to honor those who have come before me and to all that will come after me, to my children and my children's children. And so I move into 2022 knowing it's a new era, a new time, but it is that eternal breath that is breathing me, that breath of love, that breath of light, and that breath of connection. And I'm so grateful. And so now I pass the word on to Reverend Neil Pinkman.
Thank you, Elaine. It is very interesting looking back at 21. And in my particular experience, there are things that I do want to leave behind, but there was so much good that happened in my life in 21 that I must tell you, it was a thrill going through a lot of it and so forth. And excuse me. So one of the things that I do, there are a couple of things. I had some significant physical challenges for a good part of the year. And while I do want to let those go, I also want to say how grateful I am for my wife, Michelle, for supporting me through all that, and how wonderful it has been to have her support through that. But what I want to let go of is what came with that was losing my voice, a reticence of being able to speak forward as much as I would like to help others, and in particular help others with this teaching. So what I'm looking forward to in 22, because now as my own personal health is getting much better, is to regaining my voice. I want to, there's a reason that we ask you to invite people here. There's a reason this teaching is so powerful. And one of the things I love most about it is, even Holmes says in the introduction to 365 Days of Richer Living, that this is a very practical teaching, and so many lives can be improved, and so many people can grow from this teaching. What I want to do is regain my voice moving forward into the new year, in order to bring this message in as many different ways as I possibly can, to not be reticent, to not to go out and proselytize in the worst sense of that term, but it's going to feel very good to get back to being able to help others by being more forward. I don't want to say aggressive, but being more forward with this teaching. I love what it's done for me. I love how it got me through any of the difficult times that have been for many years. Many years that I've used this teaching. And I really, really know that in 22, I'm getting my voice back, and I really am going to reach out and be more proactive in serving others. And with that, I'm going to pass over to Tony Hamilton.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. The thing that I would like to leave behind is the habit of going on automatic and forgetting my truth in the moment. And what I mean by that is, specifically, when I go on automatic, I get caught and I forget that things are just appearances. They may be facts, but they're not real. And I want to let go of that habit, because it's simply a habit. And I understand it and where it came from. It doesn't matter. It's something human to all of us. But I want to remember that no matter what it is, that there's goodness, that there's love, and that even conditions and situations and people who appear to be doing something that's not good or not for our highest and best, that even they have the God spark within them. And the truth is that the presence of God is more powerful than any condition, than any form. And I need to remember that. So I want to let go of that habit of going on automatic and perceiving conditions as real. I want to really be able to just be on top of it and know the truth about it, because what I do know and what I do very much believe is that each of us contributes to our experience in the world. We may think that it's bigger than us. We may think that COVID is bigger than us. There's nothing that we can do. But our consciousness is contributing to what allows things to exist in the world. And so I want to be responsible and take part. So going forward in 2022, I want to stand in my power and consciously connect to spirit to create the world that I want to live in for myself personally and for everyone else. It's oneness. It's oneness. Thank you. And now, please welcome Evelyn Warren.
Thank you, Tony. So yes, releasing 2021. As Reverend Neal said, 2021 was a beautiful year for me. And so I am grateful to, for all the things that that came into my life in 2021. But what I am ready to release from my life is the idea of limitation. So I have created for myself, and I think maybe many of us do this, sort of well-worn ruts of habit, of limited thinking, of distractions. Even as someone who is embracing this teaching, there's still aspects of my consciousness where I go, as Tony said, on autopilot, where I go numb and I sort of just go forward with blinders on. But I need to remember that I am made in the image and likeness of God. And to tap into that power of God that is not outside of me, it is within me, and it is expressing itself through me and as me. So releasing the distractions and letting go of the idea that I am this body. I'm not this body. This body was given to me to move through this planet, to move through this experience, through this plane of existence. I like to say that, I drag this body around on this planet, but I am not this body any more than I am the car that I drive. I was listening to a meditation this morning. It says, I am not the body. I am not even the mind. And so I am letting go of the idea of limitation and embracing, moving into embracing in 2022, embracing and expanding into unlimited possibilities. I have what many humans have, which is, a negativity bias. For me, it feels like 10x. And so I'll get an idea and my negativity bias kicks in and she's like, no, you can't do that. And she'll have like a list of, here's all the reasons you can't do that. And so I just, in 2022, I am going to put aside those limitations and expand into limitless possibilities. And I'm going to counter those, that negativity bias and just say, well, I have the power of God within me. I am made in the image and likeness of God. So why can't I do this? Because I know that when I am given the vision for something, then the universe, God, source, spirit gives the provision for it to come to pass. And so I am up leveling my experience of being in a body on this planet at this time. In May, I will be consecrated and I will be ordained. And so what I'm in the process of doing is really eliminating from my life those things that I do not want to be consecrated. And so I do not want to consecrate the limitations that I create between my ears. I do not want to consecrate the idea that I am this physical form, that I am limited to what I see with the body's eyes. What I want to consecrate is my unlimited power, because I tap into the power of God that is within me. So that is how I'm moving into 2022, unlimited. And so I welcome, I see lots of things going by in the chat. So I welcome you to add into the chat whatever it is you're embracing in 2022, because you have the power of God within you. So I'm going to pass it to Reverend Joel.
That was amazing. I love that idea of when you are given a vision, you are also given the provision. Thank you for that so much, Evelyn. I will say for me, this has been, 2021 was a year of real transition. We started a moving process back in July. We had the idea, the vision for our next perfect home. And shortly then after, what we would call in spirituality, chemicalization started happening. And Hurricane Ida came and did some wonderful damage. So we decided to, of course, we had to do repairs from that, but we decided to do an entire house renovation, put the house up for sale. It closed just a few days ago. And so we are moving by the end of this month. We have no new home yet to move to. We haven't found our perfect place. And we still are looking for a temporary apartment or house in the meantime, because we don't want to settle for our home. It's the vision that is taking us there. So it's been a lot of external change. It's been uncertainty, living in the mystery of life, as Dennis Mary Jones calls it, and a lot of this chemicalization. So in 2021, I want to leave behind the old home, not just the physical old home, but the old, anything old here that needs to be too small, that is not a perfect home in my being. Leave behind old ideas, old limitations, any fears. And my intention for 2022, I'm calling this the year of coming home. That has a physical manifestation, of course, but it really ties into the theme that the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey has for 2022, which is connection, coming home to source, living from source, that perfect timing, the unlimited source that is ours. So I'm spending 2022 living God's idea for me, through me, and go where directed. And so it is. And I bring you back to Reverend Michelle.
Okay, I'll be right. I'm coming. So I'm very excited that you all are loving hearing the voices of everybody. And Ray Atkins, I just want to give you a heads up. You'll be singing after me, but I muted you before, so just so you have a moment so you don't think you're unmuted. So what I've been asking you to do, and what I'm asking us to do in 2022 with all the ministers, we've been meeting to chat about what we want, what do we see happening in this new year. And one of the things I want to keep you reminded: mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, spirit. So let us all agree to pay attention to our wholeness, our whole being. And so as once again, as every time I ask you recently, when I am the one doing a prayer, is to make sure you connect with your body once again, because your body carries the messages, your body carries the pain, your body carries the conditioning. So you and I, when we get to be conscious, is what we're all talking about doing. I get to do all my work to let go of the past, to let go of pain, to do my forgiveness, to let go of my family ancestry that would bring, the sludge down the DNA. And in this conscious place, as I'm letting go of that, I get to then be a better ancestor for my family, my legacy. So your conscious participation in wholeness, your conscious participation in healing and all of that puts you in a powerful place, every single one of you. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, most specifically, you are in this critical place because the power exists everywhere simultaneously. And you and I, we get to decide what is it? What is my legacy going to be? And whether if it's just kindness. So right now, as we are standing on this precipice of possibility, as I pray, please take your body into consideration so that we begin to find healing and wholeness in a greater expression. So join me now, if you will, join me in that, in being fully conscious, fully plugged in. There is one power, one glorious, amazing, creative power. It is everywhere present. It is the vibration of love and possibility. It is seeping in through and as every molecule of everything, every breath, every beat of our heart, the blood that flows through our body temple is spirit flowing through the body temple. Let us accept this movement of mind and heart and love as healing, as wholeness. Let each of us embrace the authority as 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 we have been equally, each of us ordained by the one to be the place where shift happens in this year of connection. Let us do so. Let us be the ministers, as we each are, that carries love, wholeness, healing, success, and possibility into the world. I know for each and every one of you that whatever could be distracting you in your body temple, that it is now made whole. I know for each and every one of you that life is here to meet you at your doorstep in the most beautiful way possible. Let us stay connected because it is in the connection that the light is more visible. So we may attract others to be in that light, in that love, in that wholeness, and in that beauty. Thank you, God, for this time together. Thank you, God. As we each embrace it, let us each whisper a sweet yes of acceptance. With bountiful gratitude, I release this word and allow it to be so. And so it is. Thank you. And here we are with Ray Atkins. Thank you. By the way, for those of you who have not met Ray before, Ray has been actually participating and performing in our community for almost as long as our community is alive. He's been around for 19 years. Ray, I thank you for being with us here today and saying yes to this invitation. It's lovely to have the vibration that you bring. It's lovely. Thank you.
Good match for me too. Thank you. You and I were going down the road, hand in hand, our diamonds glow. Something slipped away, way beyond yesterday. Like water wearing down a stone, spending so much time alone. Those things got us through, now they just won't do. It takes a little time learning up to this. Takes a little time, I know. Takes a little time reaching up to this and let it go. Let it go. Oh, still young with older eyes, looking for the big surprise. what worked for us before won't serve us anymore. And now we've come so far to say goodbye to where we are. Close the wound, close the door. It won't hurt us anymore. It takes a little time reaching up to this. It takes a little time, I know. I know, I know, I know. It takes a little time understanding this and to let it go. Let it go. Takes a little time reaching up to this. Took a little time, I know. I know, I know, I know. Takes a little time understanding this. Now to let it go. To let it go. Go. Let it go. Go. Let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let